Living life is stage. Hey, hey. 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 Love yourself first, explicitly. You overtook yourself to move with that energy. Empower your self-esteem. Self-love is king. That's the only way to win. That's how you empower your dream. Living life is stage. Hey, hey. Living life is stage. Hey, hey. Living life is stage. Hey, hey. Living life is stage. Hey, hey.
Hey y'all, happy Thirsty Thursday and welcome to Living Life with Stae. And if you are to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. And I am your girl, Stae Hall. I am a transformational speaker. I am a published author, a certified life coach, L.Y.F.E, love yourself first explicitly, because I truly believe that all success begins with self-love. I'm a mom, a maymay, a wife, and all the things. So welcome. Hey, Deborah, thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Man, today has been a wonderful day so far. I have been very productive. I started off my day with an awesome meeting with the wonderful Miles, who's like just amazing when it comes to all things organization and planning and just everything like that. So I had a meeting with her to do some catch up on the planning for the 43rd annual Fort Worth Metropolitan Black Chamber of Commerce luncheon that I have the privilege of co-chairing with attorney Ty Stimson. And so we have the save the date out there already, but we were just finalizing everything to launch the official invitation. But the great news is we already have people registered. So I'm like, oh my gosh, just with the save the date, we have several people registered. So that's always a good thing whenever you're throwing an event, especially when it's an event for a nonprofit and it's for fundraising. It's like, yeah, you want to make sure that you're doing everything that you can do for the organization. So that's awesome. And then later today, I had the opportunity to go to Girls Inc., which is another awesome nonprofit organization. I was at Girls Inc. Tarrant County. Hey, Amanda, how are you, Ladybug? And I had the opportunity to go share with 10 of the young ladies who participate in the Girls Inc. program and introduce to them 14elements.net, which is another portion of our business under the iSalt umbrella, where we teach soft skills and emotional intelligence. With 14 Elements, it's very similar, except for it's all online based, which is why I just went for the launch. And they are going to be participating in taking our online courses, which are the 14 elements that the government deems everyone needs in order to be considered workforce, job force ready. So I was excited about that. I love those young ladies at Girls Inc. I love the job that Girls Inc. does. And I have the opportunity to work with a lot of leadership at Girls Inc. all the time by way of my one-on-one coaching, but to actually be able to work with the young ladies who participate in the Girls Inc. program, that is awesome, because one of my passions is being able to help young ladies at those, very, very, pivotal stages in life be able to embrace self-love, self-awareness, self-confidence, accountability, all of those things, because I truly believe that the younger those things are instilled in you, the much easier life will become for you to navigate. Hey, Sarah, how are you? And thank you so much for putting that little reminder in there to hit the thumbs up. Yes, for those of you who are already in the room, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up. It really does help in the algorithm. We are all about growing this tribe. And so we want YouTube to know we are here and we are ready for people to become a part of this wonderful Lifer tribe. So thank you so much for making that reminder, Sarah. I also remembered early on today to put the link in the chat. So if anyone wants to join me up here today, if you have any input, any questions, anything that you would like to share, please do not hesitate. Today, being that it's Thirsty Thursday and not Mindset Mondays, you know, I'm more about teaching and sharing some nuggets with you guys to help you grow and prosper and reach your level of success. And so we are going to talk about crushing your goals and strategy for success. I actually have had people tell me before, I'm not good at setting goals. I don't like to set goals. And so it's like, why do you not like to set goals? And the common answers I get is because I feel like I'm setting myself up for failure. I get overwhelmed. It just always seems too much. So I kind of just let life do what it's going to do. And hey, I said hey to Amanda, but I'm glad that you're here. I see that you asked me, how am I? I am unbelievable, Amanda, just, rocking and rolling, doing what I'm doing. But I am glad that you're back on schedule. I appreciate you so much. I know you've had some things going on, and I am unbelievable, Sarah. Thank you so much for asking. And hey, Tamika, thank you for joining me. I appreciate each and every one of you so much. And also, if you're over on Facebook, that is absolutely fine, but just please be aware that Facebook and YouTube don't always play nicely together. So if you want to make sure that I see all your comments, that you are participating in real time, just hop over to YouTube, put the @ in, and Stae Hall, go to the channel and subscribe, and you can become a part of the chat over here. Something I found out, y'all, just a little off topic. The reason why you have to put the @ in front of my name is because for some reason, Google is now spell correcting my name or auto correcting my name to State, State. And where you used to be able to easily Google me, easily be able to find me on YouTube and all social media, over the last 6 months, whenever you put my name anywhere, even Amazon, y'all, you have to put the @ or put my name all together or put in running for your life or something else because it's autocorrect. And so I'm trying to figure out how I can contact Google for them to stop autocorrecting that, because it is really affecting people's ability to be able to find me. Because I know someone has said at one time, oh, the reason why they do that's because you don't have enough subscribers on YouTube. And I'm like, but you've been able to Google me for years. Like, I've been in business and writing books and doing all kind of things long before I was really active on YouTube. And it's doing it everywhere. It's not just YouTube. So it always, it autocorrects it to Star. Yeah, well, if you Google me or put it in any of the search engines, it puts it to State, and it comes up with all of these like college things or whatever, which is funny because I did have an event on a college campus one time, and there was a young man looking for the event and asked the security, said that they were looking for Stae Hall, and the security guard was like, we don't have any hall by the name of Stae, because he thought he was looking for one of the actual halls. But anyway, that was funny. But yeah, so I have to try to Google. As a planner, a goal is essential part of the plan. Can't have an effective plan without it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so that's what we're going to talk about today, how to crush your goals and how to achieve them. So I'm going to give y'all some tips. So hopefully you have your pen and paper out. Once again, I'm giving y'all the information for free 99 that I usually give to my paid clients. So I definitely want y'all to tap in, lean in, especially if you struggle with setting and achieving your goals. And even if it's not something you struggle with, I'm hoping that I can still give you something that you'll be able to add to whatever it is that's normally a part of your plan, that's normally a part of what you do when you're strategic planning, because that's another part of it, is strategic planning. I've been embracing goal setting. It's not been easy. It's not always easy, but hopefully with what we learned today, it's going to become easier for you, because I also saw you say something about being overwhelmed. And so I'm going to help you guys with some tips where it's not so overwhelming, because goal setting is very important when you have things that you want to achieve and accomplish. You have to have a way to kind of keep track, keep record. And like we talked a couple of weeks ago about procrastination. Procrastination is a huge goal killer, right? And so we want to eliminate procrastination. And procrastination usually comes about because we're overwhelmed, because we haven't properly planned, because we let things go for too long. And then, procrastination a lot of times leads to just giving up. And so I want to help y'all not to give up on your goals, because I know a lot of you, not only me, has different goals, different dreams, different aspirations. And for me, I love setting goals. Hey, Nick, thank you so much for being here, Ladybug. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And living out loud, no rudeness. We all do it from time to time. And, I've been in other people's lives where people don't even speak to each other at all. So we got this little tribe over here and we're just so polite and loving on each other. I'm like, but no apology. We all know you don't mean any harm. I appreciate you, because I'll do it myself. I'll just come in hot, just ready to join in the conversation, and I'm ready to go. But we love you just the same. Thank you so much. But yeah, so I want to share with y'all things that you could do, because for me, I love setting goals. Thank you, Nick. I love setting goals because I love being able to be on to the next, right? I love to be able to figure out what my next is, what that's going to look like for me, and be able to keep moving, right? I want to keep striving. I want to get to that next level. I want to get to that next level. And so that's why goal setting is so important for me, because I like to complete one thing at a time. Even though a lot of times I'm spinning many plates, I am still looking for what's next. And so I'm trying to accomplish and achieve things because I like to keep going. I like to challenge myself. And that's what goals does for me. So the first thing that we're going to tap into today when we talk about goal setting and being able to achieve our goals is, first of all, you have to master your mindset. Anytime you hear me talk, hey, how are you, Dawn? Hey. You said, hello, I'm half here because I'm watching the Indiana Fever too. That's all right, girl. That's all right. I'm just glad you're here. But you have to get your mind right, right? So that's what they say. You have to get your mind right. And so much of what we do, everything about what we do is mindset. Your mindset is what even gives you the wherewithal to have whatever dream that you have, and to be able to think of the things that you want to do. And so the first thing you need to do when you're setting goals is cultivate a positive and growth oriented mindset. You have to believe, first of all, that whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, even if you can't see it right now, even if it seems impossible right now, if it is a thought that you've had, if it is a passion of yours, you have to be of the mindset that you can do it. And you have to be of the mindset that it may take a lot of work, but you can still achieve it. You have to be of the mindset that your journey is not necessarily going to look like anybody else's journey. Hey, Chris, thank you for being here. You have to have that mindset. You have to have the mindset of growth. You have to have the mindset, that forward thinking of knowing that you can definitely get from point A to point B as long as you use the right tools and the right skills. And you also have to have the mindset that you may not have the right tools and right skills today, but that doesn't mean that you can't develop them as you go. And we're going to talk about that as we continue on ways to get the right tools and the right skills. Because just because you have an idea, just because there's something that you want to achieve, just because you're starting on goal setting, it doesn't mean that you're right off the bat going to have everything. But you have to have the mindset that you will be able to gain those things as long as you stay focused, which is also a part of your mindset. You have to remain focused on your goals. You have to remove any distractions out of your life. You have to have the mindset that what I am trying to achieve is extremely important to me, and it's more important than A, B, and C. And A, B, and C are distractions. So I have to find a way to either manage those distractions so they're no longer distractions, which means maybe only doing certain things on the weekend. It may be having to eliminate certain things, but you have to have the mindset that that goal that you want to achieve is the most important thing for you in this time period while you're focusing on achieving that goal. And let me tell you, your goals, of course, when I pop on here, we always think about business and entrepreneurship. But as we talk this evening, I don't know what your different goals are. Everybody on here is not necessarily an entrepreneur. Everybody on here does not have business goals. Your goals may be something of the educational nature. Maybe you want to go back and get your degree. Maybe you want to go back and get another degree. Maybe you want to learn a new language. Maybe your goal is a health goal to lower your blood pressure. Maybe you're trying to lose weight. Maybe you are just trying to be more present in your relationships. Whatever your goals are, I want you to know that the first step in achieving them is going to be that mindset and believing that you can do it. And you want to be able to embrace that belief in yourself and visualize yourself achieving the goal, which again is something that we're going to talk about a little bit later when we talk about manifestation, which is like one of the next steps. But you have to believe that you can do it, and you have to visualize yourself doing that. So if your goal is a health goal of lowering your blood pressure, you have to see in your mind, what does that you look like who sits in the doctor's office and gets their blood pressure taken and their numbers are normal? What does that you look like that doesn't have to wake up in the morning and take that blood pressure medicine? What does that you feel like? And you have to actually visualize yourself achieving that goal. If your goal is to learn another language, you have to visualize and believe that you can do that and really take on those feelings. What does that you look like who is able to be fluent in another language or lose weight? So hopefully y'all are picking up what I'm putting down as far as comes to that visualize. And if y'all are understanding the visualize, give me a 1 in the chat. Y'all know how I am. I need y'all to interact with me so I'll know that I'm not talking to myself and what I'm saying is making sense. And again, if you have any questions, if you have any input, if you want to join me up here, the link is in the chat. I am not an island. I appreciate all of your input. I appreciate all of your interaction. I got some 1s in the chat. So y'all know what that means to visualize, because I've had people like, well, how am I supposed to see myself any different than I am? You have to do it. You have to go back to that 12-year-old you, that 10-year-old you, when you were able to visualize and see yourself, when pretend was a big part of your life and being creative. That is the mindset you have to put yourself in. Thank you for the 1s, everybody. I appreciate you. And another thing that you have to do with your mindset is also prepare yourself for possible setbacks. You have to prepare yourself for possible failures. You have to prepare yourself for possible naysayers. You have to prepare yourself to be flexible. You have to prepare yourself to pivot. And so that is conditioning your mind where you're knowing that, okay, this is my goal. This is this thing I'm trying to do. This is this thing that I'm trying to achieve. However, I know that every journey is not going to be a smooth journey. I know that some paths are going to have rough terrain. However, I believe in my goal. I believe in myself. I have visualized myself achieving this goal. So I have to have the mind, no matter what comes in my way to distract me, what comes in my way to derail me, what naysayers I may have, whatever that is, I have the mindset I'm already prepared to combat that. I may not know right now what that's going to look like for me, what I'm going to have to do, but I am preparing my mind to be ready to make that plan B, to be ready to pivot, to be ready sometimes to put the plan on pause just temporarily while I work some things out, because life be lifing, right? Life happens. And so with goals, a lot of times we have a time frame, which makes sense because we want to be able to give ourselves a time to complete it, because we don't want to drag our feet. We don't want it to take forever. We don't want to procrastinate, but we also want to give ourselves a realistic time frame to complete the goals with that little buffer, that plan B, that if life happens, that I can still pick up where I left off. I can't say this enough. A plan laid is not a plan denied. So you have to have the mindset like, look, I'm on this path. I have this goal. I am starting this plan to activate it. Hey, Kelly, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. But things might along the way. I have to give myself grace. I have to realize that sometimes things in life happen that are out of my control. So I need to be prepared, because what I don't want to happen is for you to work on this positive mindset, to work on this growth mindset, get yourself all pumped up to reach whatever goal it is. And then as soon as something happens, you be like, you know what? Stae ain't know she was talking about. I knew I shouldn't have tried to do this. No. Keep going, just come up with the plan B. And sometimes plan B just means I need to take a beat. I need to take a pause. I need to rethink some things. And it's not even necessarily that it has to be any long time. I know I've had things with me when I've planned my goals, and I've just had to take a like for a day or two just to revamp, just to do something different. It's really not that big of a deal. It's not the end of the world. So I want y'all to get your mindset right. Everybody write in the chat, get your mind right. Get your mind right. That is number one. Get your mind right, because your mindset is going to be the driving force of the rest of everything we talk about. If you don't have your mindset right, if you have not thoroughly thought this thing out as far as the good, the bad, the indifferent, you are not going to be able to be successful. Thank y'all. Get your mind right. Get your mind right. So have that mindset and be prepared for any and everything that may happen that will try to knock you off course, because who knows that whenever we are trying to do something, whenever we're trying to make a change, whenever we're trying to be more productive, that's always when distractions come, right? That's always when there's some negativity, always. And so you have to get your mind right. I love that, living out loud. Get your mind right. Exactly. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. But yeah, it's when we're laser focused. It's when we made that decision to do something different. It's when we've thrown caution to the wind. That's is when something's going to happen, either financially, emotionally, some kind of family issue. You know, we get the flu. It's always something. And so you have to get your mind right. Now, the next thing that I want us to do, once we get our mindset right, that's when I want us to be more active about meaningful manifestation. Now, I don't know how many of you believe in the power of manifestation. If you don't believe in it, then you can just tap out for this portion. Don't leave us, if you need to cover your ears. But I also want to tell you that when I talk about manifestation, it is definitely in whatever manifestation looks like for you. It's definitely not this what is it? Name it, claim it, genie in the bottle. Just because I think it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Manifestation, in my opinion, is just leveling up on your mindset. So where I said in the beginning with the mindset, visualize yourself doing and being whatever it is for the end of your goal. With manifestation, it's about being more specific in that and actually living in that moment. So for me, for instance, when I was first starting iSalt, I was, still in corporate, had my government contract. I was doing certain things and I was working on iSalt at the same time, but it always seemed like my job was hindering me. But I saw myself as a government paralegal, and that was what was number one for me. So it wasn't until I started meaningful manifestation where I set clear and specific goals in my head to see myself as being the CEO of iSalt, having my own contracts, working for myself, creating my own curriculum. And so every day when I woke up, even though I was getting ready for my job, in my mind, I was getting ready to be the CEO of iSalt every single day. And that was my mindset. When I went to my job and to my office, this is what I'm doing. I started treating my job as an investor. Like, I'm just going here to get these people's money, but I am the CEO of iSalt. And I really start feeling like what a CEO felt like to me. I worked on my business every single day. When I went to networking events and things like that, I stopped telling people I work for the Small Business Administration as a paralegal for the Office of Disaster Assistance. I told people I'm the CEO of iSalt. Hey, Miss T, thank you so much for being here. And that is what I spoke about. And yes, that is so right. power in what you say out loud. And that's what I talked about. I talked about ISALT. I talked about soft skills and emotional intelligence. I no longer talked about my job because that was not what I was trying to manifest. That's not what my mindset was about. Again, my job then became just my investor for me to be able to earn the money to support and start my business, because I already had my business name. I had already legitimized my business. I just was not yet able financially to do my business full time. So I set that clear and specific goal in my mind, but I knew that before I was able to leave my job, I actually had to start speaking that into existence. I actually had to start believing it. It had to go past being a dream for me. I wanted to leave corporate America so bad. And I knew as long as I keep juggling these two things and making them equal, I'm never going to be that. So all I talked about was ISALT. All I talked about was my training, soft skills, emotional intelligence. I started to claim the contracts I was going to get. I would tell people, yeah, one of these days, I am going to be the #1 trainer for the city of Fort Worth. I'm going to be in the school districts. I am going to be. I didn't say I want to. I didn't say I'm trying to. I would say, and people would think I'm crazy. Like, how you know that? You got some connections. I'm going to have the connections. I started looking at different events that people were going to and different events where people were speaking at. And I knew I wanted to be invited into those rooms. And slowly but surely, I started getting invited to the events. And then I started saying to people, to my husband, my friends, oh, I'm going to be their speaker next year, or I'm going to be on program next year. I'm going to be dealing with this person. There were people who didn't even know me 3 years ago, who are now some of my closest allies and supporters. But had already manifested that. I would identify people when I would go to these events, and this is somebody I need on my team. This is somebody that I need as a part of my tribe to help me get to where I want to get. This is somebody I can glean from. And those relationships happened. I was invited to the rooms. Once I got into the room, I was invited to the tables. Once I got to the tables, I was invited to the stage. Those are the things that I'm talking about when you manifest, living in that world that you desire to live in, even before you get there. And again, it's the same thing, whether it's a health and fitness goal, whatever it is, you have to start seeing yourself as that person, saying out loud what it is that you are going to achieve and making it happen. Because yes, speak those things into existence. Yes, speak those things into existence. Even if they're not, you speak them as if they were, and they will come to pass. And so you have to align your emotions, your actions, your thoughts to your desired outcome. You can't have a mindset of lack if what you're looking for is prosperity. You can't have that lack mindset. You have to have the growth mindset. I went and test drove the type of car that I wanted to drive. I wanted a convertible. I've never had a convertible in my life. I've never had a sports car in my life. I've always had, the big SUVs and things like that. But I saw myself, I knew that my business was going to get a success right as my kids were getting grown and I was going to be an empty nester. And I'm like, you know what? I'm getting me a sports car, and I'm not going to have, be car poor. I'm not going to have to struggle to get this car. I'm going to have this car. So I used to start stopping by the car dealership, wasting them folks' time, because I knew I wasn't about to buy nothing today. But those days, especially if I needed a little pickup, I went right to the car dealership and I test drove the type of car that I wanted to have. And car is in my garage today. And I will say, like my girl Cheryl Pelote says, I am not saying any of this to impress you. I am saying this to impress upon you that if it can happen for me, it can happen for you. It was the same thing with our home. Wallace and I spent so many times going to new constructions, going to the model homes and looking at different things. And we would talk like, okay, yeah, so when we get our home, we're going to do this. Not, I wish I could have this home. Not, hopefully we'll get this home. There was no doubt in our mind. And next thing you know, we're out here picking flooring and picking cabinets and light switches. The process actually ended up getting on my nerves after so long, but it's about that. It's about putting yourself in position for whatever your next is going to be and knowing that it's going to be that. And I tell y'all right now, I sit on the board of directors for an organization that the first time I went to that organization, I was going as somebody who had a radio show, as a media person, as a radio personality from when I had my radio show on Fishbowl Network many years ago. When I first went, I was just going to just cover that event for the radio and just talk about it because they had Magic Johnson coming in as a speaker. So I was sitting in a little table at the back because as a person in the media, you get in for free. And so they had people from the newspaper and different radio shows sitting at this little table in the corner. You just supposed to be recording, taking your notes, whatever. You know, you weren't any special guest. They just wanted you to be there so that you could share the event on your show or in your broadcast or whatever it was. But as I sat in that room, I was like, I want to be a part of this organization. I want to be a part of, you know, what's going on here. And this is so awesome. They have Magic Johnson speaking here. And then I saw all of the local dignitaries there. And I saw a lot of people in leadership who I just only would see on the news and whatever. Now, here we are in 2024. I've been on that board now for 3 or 4 years. And now I'm the chairman of their women's division. And this year I am actually the co-chair for that very luncheon. I'm telling y'all, when I tell you this stuff is real and it works, please believe me when I tell you this. And those are just things that as I sat there, there was no doubt in my mind. And I barely knew anyone in that room at the time. Thank you, Nick. I barely knew anyone in the room at the time, but you know what I did? I felt comfortable and I knew one day I'm going to know everybody in here and everybody in here is going to know me. And I will be walking on that stage, Nick, this year with my Louboutins on. And so, and the thing is, I went from just, you know, being on the board, well, first being a member with my business. Then I was asked to be on the board. Then I was asked to be the president of the women's division. Then I was asked to chair the sneaker ball. And so every year it just more and more and more. And so I need y'all to believe in the power of manifestation in whatever you believe it. You just know, however you want to look at it, whether it's a spiritual thing for you or if it's just a mindset thing, you have to be able to completely embrace the lifestyle that you are looking for. You have to see yourself doing it. You have to say those things out loud. You have to speak it as if it already is, because that's the only way it's going to be that way. Because if you don't believe it, if you're not living it, it's not going to happen. And then if it does happen, if you haven't already put yourself in that place, if you haven't already been able to, hey, Carol, if you haven't already been able to walk in those shoes, you're not going to be prepared for it when it happens. Thank you so much for being here, Carol. I appreciate you. So if y'all are picking up what I'm putting down, you know I'm going to ask y'all to do it for me. It's like when the preacher says, look at your neighbor and say, but this is much easier because I don't be liking to look at my neighbor neither. But I just need y'all to put manifest in the chat. Manifest. I'm telling you, you get your mindset right. And then you start manifesting those things. You start living that lifestyle. And some people are going to think you're crazy when you're telling them what you have and what you're going to do. But that's okay, because when you say things like, I'm going to try, that cancels it out. When you say, I would like to, that cancels it out. I see the manifest in there. Yeah, y'all, thank you so much. Y'all have to manifest it. Don't cancel it out. Don't say, everything is I will, I'm going to, I am. And that's the thing. I went from I will to I am, and I saw the things happening. Yes, Sarah says, pull the weeds of negativity out of the garden of your mind. Absolutely, absolutely. Manifestation is real. Yes, Carol, it is. It is. I mean, because it's all about setting your mind. So some sunshine. I love it. Are so positive. Yes, let me give y'all a round of applause. Thank you so much. I love positive energy. Y'all keep me pumped up. So as we're getting our mindset right, as we're manifesting, we also have to protect our thoughts and our ideas, right? And so when you're manifesting, yes, I want you to talk about your ideas. I want you to claim those ideas. I want you to talk in I will, I am. I don't even want you to say I will, I am. That's what you're going to say. But some people are going to look at you crazy Some people aren't. However, you have to protect your thoughts and ideas. Yes, do or do not. There is no try. Yeah, try is already setting yourself up for failure. But I want y'all to also be mindful of the fact that you can't share your thoughts and ideas, your dreams, your goals, your aspirations with everyone. You have to be really careful who you share with, because some people are dream killers. Some people are just straight up haters. Some people just can't wrap their mind around anybody trying to do anything bigger than what they've done. Some people automatically operate from a lack mindset. Some people automatically operate from scarcity. Some people automatically operate from fear. And again, I can't say it enough. Some people are just haters. So you have to be really careful. And sometimes you have to be sure to keep goals private. Now, when I say private, Nick says speak. Yes, girl. And when you've been in entrepreneurship any amount of time, you learn it sometimes the hard way. But as long as you learn, I'm glad. Ain't nothing like this. I love it. And it's a blessing to be a blessing. Yes, I'm a successful, yes. And we're going to talk about those affirmations too. I'm blessed, I'm a successful beekeeper, yes. But you have to learn to keep some things private. Now, it's very difficult when you're on this journey to do it alone. And I say no man is an island. We all need a support system. But just remember, it's about quality, not quantity. And it's about using your discernment. It's about using and listening to that inner voice, listening to your gut, and being very, very careful, very intentional about who you share with. You want to share with only a selective group of people, and maybe it's only one person. If you have a significant other, a spouse, whatever that is for you, a partner, that should be the person that you share with, especially in the very beginning, and no one else. And let me tell y'all a secret. When I say no one else, I mean not your mama, not your brother, not your best friend from kindergarten, because in the very beginning, you're still learning to really trust and believe in yourself. And you're still learning how to manifest those things. You're still learning to be able to visualize yourself where it is. You're still fragile in the very beginning. Although you're going to be very excited and you're going to want to shout it from the rooftops, especially if it's something that you've been toiling over a long time and you just decided to go for it. But I'm telling you, trust me when I say, keep it to yourself. And when you're ready to share it, be very selective, because we are going to need to share with someone. And that's why I also tell y'all, there is nothing wrong with counseling. There's nothing wrong with coaching, because having those people who aren't that close to you share, because people will sometimes talk you out of your dreams because they would be too afraid to do it. And that's why I like to remind people that everyone who's negative about what you do isn't necessarily a hater. Some people genuinely care about you, and they're just too afraid to see you fall. And they know that they wouldn't be able to do it themselves. Again, I see people jumping on Facebook. I apologize if I have not addressed you. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Samantha. Hey, Brunel. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I am trying to navigate both of these platforms, but Facebook does not bring everything to YouTube. So I do apologize. But if you would like to join in real time, just go over to YouTube, type in @Stae Hall, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be able to see y'all in real time. But I appreciate you so much for being here. And I'm sorry it took me so long to get over here. I was just so hyped up. But sometimes people aren't hating. It may appear that they're hating, but they're not. They're just genuinely afraid for you because they can't see it. So, hey, Millie, thank you so much for being here, because they can't see it. And so when we're still a little afraid, when we're still like just now stepping out there, the last thing we need is somebody telling us how afraid they would be, or asking us, are we sure we want to do it? Because you're going to be sure because you've already got your mind right. And so, hey, Kathy, thank you for being here. So the last thing that you're going to want to do is share it with too many people, and specifically sharing it with the wrong people. And then many times people try to act like, they know us so well. Like, well, that doesn't sound like something you would want to do, or you've never talked about anything like that, because they can't see our growth. Hey, Stephanie, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. And thank you, everybody, for coming in and saying, hey. But they're going to try to hold us back because they think they know us so well. Like, well, that doesn't sound like something you can do. And how are you going to have time for that? And you got a full-time job, or you have kids. And they're just going to keep planting those seeds of doubt and planting those seeds of doubt. And so that's why I tell everybody, when you first are getting started on your new journey, no matter what it is, because again, even if it's a health and wellness journey, even if it's a weight loss journey, even if it's a business journey, whatever, there are going to be some people who feel like you're not capable of doing it. And God forbid the fact that if you've tried it before and not been able to be successful, they're going to throw that in your face. And so in the very beginning of your journey, move in silence. Nobody needs to know. It's okay. I know you're excited. I know you want to tell people, but zip that lip, throw the key away, and move in silence. Be one with your thoughts. Be working on your mindset, working on your manifestation, and then just identify that one or maybe two people that you know are going to be supportive, that you know believe in you. Find some people who have been down before, who understand whatever it is that you're trying to do. And again, like, I know people who have decided to have like maybe weight loss surgery or something, and they have so many people like, oh my goodness, are you sure you're going to want to do that? Because I know somebody did that, and this and this happened to them, and I know somebody who did it and this happened to them. Or somebody who decides to stop taking their medication and go on a more natural route. Well, you need to listen to your doctor, and you know all those natural things. Don't do that. Trust yourself. Trust your gut. Trust God or whoever you're connected to spiritually. Do not let people infiltrate your mind, your mindset that you've worked so hard on with the negativity. And so that's why you want to move in silence, because nobody is going to know what's better for you than you. And no matter how long somebody's known you, no matter how well they claim to know you, they are not going to know what's best for you. Even though people try to say, I know you better than you know yourself. In my mind, that is a statement of manipulation, and that's a different topic for a different day. But beware of those people who say, I know you better than you know yourself, because a lot of times those are manipulative, narcissistic personalities, which again, I'm working on the narcissist episode. For those of you who are here for Mindset Monday, we have had a vote within the tribe, and we want to talk about narcissism. So just be very selective, move in silence, keep your plans to yourself, work on you and your mindset and your manifestation. No matter how excited you are to share, don't share. And you also have to be worried about people stealing your ideas. Now, I ain't trying to be funny and say that we got a bunch of stealing, conniving people, but sometimes people will steal your ideas or try to jump on your bandwagon. They want to be a partner. I'm just saying, it's not the most comfortable thing to talk about, but it happens. And so I want y'all to know, sometimes people steal your ideas accidentally. And I'm talking about those of us who, are trying to do things in business. Let me just sip my water. I'm just saying. It happens. So now we got our mindset right. We're manifesting. We're moving in silence. We're not sharing with just any and everybody. We have our excitement under wraps. We're not posting on Facebook, starting a new venture. We're not doing any of that. Now comes the important part where we actually have to start doing something, and that is effective planning. 9 times out of 10, a lot of people do not achieve their goals because they fail to plan effectively. Again, it's the excitement, it's the exhilaration, it's the, hey, I want to do this. And so we just jump in with both feet and we go out and buy a bunch of products, or, we, whatever it is that we do, but we did not effectively plan. We haven't sat down and written anything. We haven't talked to a professional. We haven't done anything that we needed to do. I'm scared to know what face is for, Nick. What you done did? We have not effectively planned. We just got excited about something and decided that we wanted to do it. I have been there before. I've done that in the past with other businesses that I had many moons ago. And the thing I want to share with y'all is I'm a serial entrepreneur. So y'all know I tell you, when I come and give you this advice and tell you my success stories, there was some unsuccessful. I figured that's what it was, girl. I figured there were some unsuccessful times as well. That's why I consider myself an expert and a perfect person to share with y'all, because anything I'm talking about, I have, hey, wellness, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. But anything that I talk about, 9 times out of 10, 9.8 times out of 10, I've already been down the negative road before I got to the success road. So whether we're talking relationship-wise, spiritually, business-wise, I know it all. I've been an entrepreneur since my 20s, and I cannot sit here and even begin to lie to y'all and say every business venture I've ever had was a major success and I did all of these steps. No, I know all of these steps because I have missed them in the past. But now, as I've become more mature, wiser, more knowledgeable, it doesn't happen to me anymore. And so I want to share with y'all because I wish I had somebody back then to share with me. And so the planning part of it is super important. And I know when we're doing something new, we're excited about it and we just want to jump in. But the first thing that you're going to want to do is extensive research. And we have like such a great tool with YouTube. There is hardly anything that you can't find out about on the great YouTube University. Look on YouTube, look at some videos. When you're looking at your videos on YouTube, here's one thing that I want to lend to you. When you're searching on YouTube and you're looking for actual solid information about a specific topic and not just for entertainment, put the year in the search. So if you are planning on opening up a tax business, put opening a tax business in 2024. And that way YouTube is going to bring you not necessarily just the one that got the most views or the most popular, but something that is, because something like a tax business, those rules, regulations, everything change literally from tax season to tax season. So anything that you're doing, even if, like I said, it's weight loss surgery, even if you're deciding to maybe get Botox, whatever it is that you're doing, put that year in there because things can change. And I know we talk a lot about evergreen content on YouTube, which videos are evergreen and people will continue to look at them for years. But I always just want to look at the most recent, the most relevant. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Put that year in there and then start watching it. But once you put the year in there, then you do want to look at the one with the most views and maybe the people with the most subscribers. But just start doing your research. Find people who have done what you've done, and have done what you want to do. Talk to those people. And again, they don't have to be people that you know. If there's a certain business you want to start, whatever it is, go to one of those businesses, see if you can get a meeting with that person, sit down and talk to them, do extensive research, read, take notes, do what you need to do because you want to have the most information possible and you want to see the good and bad, because as you go down any journey, there's always going to be a good and a bad and a pros and a cons. And so what you want to do is once you start planning, you want to break things down into bite-sized actionable steps of what to do next. So you don't want to be this person who starts your business with no plan. And so it's just a side hustle out your trunk and you just selling jams. You don't have a tax ID. You don't have a legitimate business name, because I know people who have done that. They started out their business and they done called it Jelly Jams, and they've been selling jelly jams out of their trunk for 10 years with no documentation. And then when they finally decide 10 years later to legitimize jelly jams, only to find out that the jelly jams name has been taken for years and years and years. And now they have to change their business name, which can be a huge hit to a business, even if it's just a side hustle. If people have gotten to know you and your product and they're looking for jelly jams, and now you've had to change your name to JJ's Jams, they're not going to identify you as the same person. And so that's what the actionable steps and research is about, making that plan. As I'm doing this, what are the things I need to do to put in place so that I'm not working backwards? You want to be able to figure out what are the possible roadblocks, what are the things that I need to have. Again, whether it is something business-wise, health-wise, whatever you want to, if it's something that you want to do as far as anything medical, you want to sit down, interview doctors. Just don't look up, such and such doctor, LASIK eye surgery in my area. No, you want to research, you want to look at the reviews, you want to sit down, do a consultation. Do not pass up on complimentary consultations with anybody. If it's something that you're doing, like say, for instance, maybe your goal is to get out of a toxic marriage and you're looking to plan for divorce. I'm not trying to be negative. All I'm trying to show you is how these steps match any type of goal you have. Don't go out there and just hire the first divorce attorney that you see riding down the block. Do your research, read the reviews. Yes, there are reviews on attorneys as well. Have your consultations. At least talk to 2, 3, 4 people, definitely at least 2, but I would say 4 for me, before you make decisions to do business with anybody, to get into a business, because you want to go in it with all of the information. And while you're getting this information, you want to make sure that you keep it organized. One thing that I know a lot of people do is they'll start collecting data, collecting information, writing it in a million different notebooks, have some of it in their phone, some of it in their iPad. They're sending emails to themselves, doing all this stuff. You have to be organized. You want to be able to keep all of your information together. Creating files on your computer is so important, at least for me, and I suggest y'all do it while you're starting whatever it is that you're starting, all the way through, even after you've reached your goal, because you may need to refer back to stuff. Keep all of your documentation together, keep all of your research together, so that when you need stuff, you can just click and find it. When you're starting a business, make sure that you scan all of your documents into your computer, as well as keeping them in a safe file cabinet in your home or office. You don't want something to happen and you're digging through things. I know I've talked to y'all before about having your businesses minority certified, for those of us who are in the minority population, whether you are Black, Asian, a woman, Hispanic, whatever. Anything outside of being a Caucasian male, for the most part, is considered a minority, and you can get minority certifications for your business. A lot of my clients, when they're ready to start a new business and I talk to them about certification, the main thing that holds them up from being able to get their certification is they can't get their hands on the documents that are needed. And it's not that they don't have them, because they have their tax ID number, they've created an LLC, they just don't know where everything is. They don't have their tax records. You have to keep yourself organized when you're making these plans, because if you don't, it's going to hinder your process. And then once process gets hindered, that's when we get frustrated. That's when we start to procrastinate. That eventually turns into us giving up. So a part of the planning process could look like going out and buying a file cabinet for your home or your office, wherever you're going to be doing business. That could look like, for you, if it's some type of health and wellness journey, going and getting a health and wellness journal from Amazon and keeping track, because you're going to want to keep track of your progress as you are on this journey, because you're going to want to know what worked, what doesn't work. What week did I lose weight? What week did I didn't lose weight? What did I eat this week? How much water am I drinking? How many steps did I get? It's about keeping your things. Yes, I was going to say organized. Organization is key. And that's what keeps you from getting frustrated, because the moment you have to spend a half a day just looking for something, you are delaying process. So you want to be able to do that. And then you want to create a realistic timeline for yourself. And I never suggest, again, no matter what type of goal it is that you have, I never suggest just setting your end game timeline. Like saying, okay, I'm going to lose 100 pounds by December 1st. Well, what's going on between May 9th and December 1st? Like, that's a long time to set your goal out. I'm working on organizing. Well, that's important. So I'm glad you're working on it. And that's the thing. Everybody who is with me on a regular basis knows my triple A's. The first thing you have to do is be aware. Once you're aware, hold yourself accountable. Once you have held yourself accountable, now it's taking action. So it sounds to me you were aware that you needed some organization, you held yourself accountable, and now you're taking action. That's all I can ask for anybody, is to operate in those triple A's. And also a reminder that the link for today's broadcast is pinned at the top. So, hey, Tim, thank you so much for being here. If anybody wants to join me on the screen, if you have any questions, if you have anything you add, because I don't believe I know everything. I just share what I do know. But if there's something or a little tip or trick that you have for this whole goal setting and reaching your goals, please feel free to join me up here. This is our tribe. This is our podcast. Yes, staying consistent is very important as well. Nothing is going to happen without consistency, because nothing happens overnight. So you have to get up every day with the intention to work on something. Just got home from granddaughter, had a concert tonight. Oh, how cute is that? I love that. I love that, watching these grandbabies. So we want to stay organized. We want to prioritize, and then we want to set ourselves a realistic time frame. We don't want to set a time frame by saying, okay, I'm going to get all this done in 2 weeks and I'm going to be done. And we also don't want to give ourselves 2 years. We want to set goals. We want to set small goals to reach the end goal. So if it's, being a business owner, maybe your first goal is, okay, by the end of the week, I'm going to have my tax ID number, because that's something that's relatively simple to do. It's free of charge. You can do it right on your computer, your iPad, your phone at irs.gov. So that's the goal you set. Once you do that, you might want to say, okay, I need to, do the search with the Secretary of State to make sure that my name is available. And then I need to get my LLC. And then I need to do whatever. Get those things, like, especially if it's a business that you're trying to do and you are going to need products and inventory, please get your paperwork and documentation and tax ID and all that stuff in place before you start buying inventory. Don't do that. Don't do that, because again, that's just poor planning. You don't want to put the cart before the horse. Make sure that you have everything together before you start buying inventory. If your goal is to lose weight or whatever, please don't just say, you know what, I'm starting a diet tomorrow, and go out to the grocery store and just buy stuff that you think is healthy and bring it in the house. And then you got peanut butter, no jelly type of stuff. Figure out what kind of eating regimen you're going to be on. How many times a day are you going to eat? What do you need? What are you going to consume in that week? Because you don't want to, at the end of a couple of weeks, throwing out a refrigerator full of stuff that you didn't use. Make sure your mindset's right. Make sure you have a plan, because so many people, Carol is in the house. At least she was here. I'm not sure if she's still in here, but yes, that was Carol. But you want to have a plan, because again, if you don't plan, then you plan to fail. And so you want to make sure that you have a plan so that you're not walking yourself into failure, which is going to lead to procrastination, overwhelming, and then you're going to give up. So we got to plan it. So I need y'all to put in the chat, plan it. Plan it. That's all we got to do. We got to plan it. Thank you so much for sharing that link. Yes. And if you would like for Tim to share your link, just say, share my link, and he will definitely share it. While he's in here, Tim is my awesome moderator in here who can share the links, because I definitely want us to be able to follow each other. Yes, plan it. We got to plan it. So we have our mindset. We're meaningful manifestation. We're not sharing with everybody, and we are doing effective planning. I hope y'all are taking notes, because I'm telling y'all, this is some good stuff. I wish I would have had this when I was first starting out. Now, another thing that I want to talk to y'all about while we're on this journey. Thank y'all for the planets. Thank you. Planet, like Mercury and Mars. That's so funny. But another thing I want to talk about is the importance of self-love and self-confidence on this goal setting journey. Now, as much as I talk about self-love, love yourself first explicitly. Good. I'm glad you're taking notes, Sarah. That makes me feel good. Y'all probably wondering why I didn't talk about that first. Well, that's just because when we're in the goal setting and things, of course, I want to tell y'all what is really the main thing. And that mindset is going to be everything and the meaningful manifestation. But we have to have self-love to even believe any of these things. So the self-love piece of it is being able to show yourself grace while you're on this journey, being able to recognize that you're not perfect and you are going to make mistakes along the way. The self-love piece of it is still being confident even on the days when everything's not working quite the way you want it to work. Because as I told y'all, I prepared to be invited to rooms that I didn't even know existed. I prepared to sit at tables that I didn't know existed. I prepared to be on stages that I didn't think that I was qualified for at the time. And as much as that has happened for me, I've also had some times of disappointment where certain things happen and I wasn't invited and I wasn't considered. But my self-love and self-confidence let me know that it just wasn't my time or that wasn't right for me. And so you have to realize that you can't take things too personal. You can't wear your feelings on your sleeve. You have to have that self-love and that self-worth to know that you are worthy of the good things, that you are worthy of success. But everything is not for you, even if it's something that you really want. And what I learned to do while I was on my journey, hey, CC, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Yes, the self-love is so important. It is. And what I learned on my journey is to actually get excited about closed doors, because what I found was when one door was closed for me, or if I wasn't offered a certain opportunity, it was because that was not the right thing for me, right? It was protecting me for something or preparing me for something. There were some times, believe it or not, even me, that my dreams were too small. My goals were too small. And here I was wanting to be invited to this room with 100 people when the room I was supposed to be in really was full of 1,000 people. And so I learned not to get distracted or discouraged by closed doors, because I had that self-love. I had that confidence in myself. I knew my worth. I knew my value. So whenever things didn't work exactly the way I had hoped they were, I got excited because I knew something even more spectacular was going to happen, or I knew that if I would have been in that situation, it wasn't going to be right for me. And so that's what the self-love and confidence does. If you don't have the self-love, if you don't have that self-confidence, when you get those no's, when you have those missed opportunities, when you don't get the invitations, you're automatically going to bring it on yourself and feel like, well, maybe I didn't deserve it. Maybe I'm not equipped to be there. Maybe I'm not worthy. Or you'll start telling yourself, I knew I shouldn't have done this. I knew I didn't match up. But when you have that self-love, when you have that self-confidence, it's like what I started feeling is like, well, when I didn't get the opportunity, they was missing out on me. I'm not missing out on anything. They're missing out on me. Yes, absolutely, he does. The plan is already there. Yes, rejection can be protection. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. Well, I'm glad, Nick. That's what I'm here for. Yes, that's good. Rejection is protection. It can be. And again, even if it's not protection, you just have to realize everybody ain't ready for you. And that's what I realized too, because for me, when I first got started, especially in public speaking and doing women's conferences and stuff, I first started in public speaking, and I would, speak at smaller groups, and churches would have me. And then I would see these women's conferences going on. And it was people who were doing the women's conferences who knew me. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, when they do their conference this year, they heard me speak at such and such, they're definitely going to invite me to their women's conference. And yeah, they might invite me, but they was inviting me just to be an attendee. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to at least be on the panel, if not the keynote. Like, I'm going to be there. And people wouldn't ask me. So then I decided, well, you know what? I'm going to create my own stage. And so I started having my own women's conferences. My husband started pastoring a church. I was a first lady, and it was like, okay, that's what first ladies do. I have my own conference. So what I did differently, that a lot of people don't do, I invited people to come and speak at my conferences who had not already done it before, but I knew they had a story. I knew that they could make an impact. I would coach them through how to do it. I would help them prepare. And they're like, oh, I'm not ready for this. And I invited them, I embraced them, and we had some really, really great women's conferences. However, there were also people who I gave their first opportunity to share. I introduced them to that world, and they went on to do some great things. But do you think they called me and asked me to participate? A lot of them didn't. And I just knew, like, okay, I've created this tribe. We rocking together. You doing something, you inviting me. I'm doing something, I invited you. But sometimes people move forward and they forget. But I had the self-confidence. I knew my worth and I knew my value. And I didn't take that personal. What I felt like in those moments were they were afraid that I was going to come and take their shine, which I am not anyone to ever do that. But I had to realize and get comfortable with sometimes people are just afraid of your light. Sometimes people are just afraid to share that spotlight with you. Sometimes people feel like it's a competition rather than a collaboration. And so all I did was keep doing what I was doing. I kept sharing my message. I kept growing my business. I kept going to the places where I was invited. And then I was able to expand way past those smaller events and get invited by corporations and municipalities and things like that to come and talk. And I didn't let it derail me. I felt bad for them because I'm like, here I am wanting to create this tribe, wanting to be able to have this band of women to be able to do things together. And I felt rejected. But what I knew for sure is I had a purpose. I knew what my purpose was, and I knew that my platform was coming. And all I had to do was wait, and it happened. Wait and not give up. Let's see. Preparation over devastation. Absolutely. Absolutely. Women empowering women. And we need more of that. We definitely do. Yes. Yes, girl. Yep. You said it right there. Yeah, we all shine different. We do. And that's the thing. And the spotlight is big. There's room enough for everyone. Yeah. Yes, I appreciate y'all. Hey, Wallace, stay using big words again. Y'all gonna leave me alone. God's time, not ours. No, and that's the piece. Like I said, and when we have that self-love, then we're able to cultivate that inner strength and we're not easily swayed. And not to say that my feelings never got hurt, not to say that I never felt any kind of way, but I got over it very quickly. You know, I would kind of be like, dang, for real? You know, I would see the little speaker things come up and the people on the flyers, but it was so funny because the next thing you know, I'm the only one on a flyer. I am the keynote speaker, you know, so I just had to wait it out, but I also had to trust the process, as somebody else has said. Trust the process. I had to trust the process and realize that my time was coming and I didn't have to worry about it and that my place was already prepared for me. Because one thing that never happened throughout that whole time, I never lost focus. I never questioned my passion. I never questioned my purpose. So I just kept moving forward. I kept writing my books. I kept going to the events. I kept meeting people. I kept getting involved in my community. And the thing is, those people who were there in the beginning who didn't invite me to do what I had invited them to do are not even a part of the circle that I'm in now, don't have anything to do. And so all that told me is that was never my place. I thought that was my place, but that was never my place. I've moved beyond that doing different things. So how can I be mad about that? Because had I been invited to certain things and did the things that I thought were for me, I could have gotten stuck and just leveled off where there was so much more for me. And again, no hate, no shade to anybody else doing what they're doing, because I don't keep tabs on other people. And so they may be doing just as great as I am, which I hope they are. But it was just me. I saw things in a certain way, and that wasn't it. But the key is, as long as you stay focused on your goal, even when things don't happen exactly that way, you're still going to be in line for what is correct. This live is really speaking to me. Oh, I'm glad. Sometimes you have to change your circle. You do. And the thing is, when you stay in line with your purpose, either a reason or a season, I say that all the time, a reason, a season, or a lifetime, the little engine that could, instead of I think I can, I know I can. Absolutely. And the thing is, when you stay in line with your purpose, even when things don't happen quite the way you expect, as long as you stay focused, as long as you have your plan, as long as you keep moving, it's gonna work out. The only thing you have to do is not give up. And one thing about me, I'm not going to give up. I'm just going to keep moving, and whatever happens, happens. But when I know my purpose and I know my passion, I just keep moving in that, and things are automatically going to fall into place. And so the next thing that we're going to talk about is accountability and courage. Accountability and courage are so important when it comes to being able to realize your goals. And I don't care, people say a lot of times, I know it's popular to say, I need an accountability partner. Accountability partners, I'm not saying that's a bad thing or it doesn't work. However, I'm more about you holding yourself accountable. Okay. Oh, well, I'm gladly seeing that's the kind of thing that let me know that I'm walking in my purpose. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate y'all. I love this interaction. But accountability partners are cool. But nobody can really hold you accountable, right? So if you're on a diet or something and somebody calls you and says, are you eating right? I hope you didn't eat them cookies today or whatever. You can either tell the truth or not tell the truth. And if you say, yeah, I ate the cookies, what are they going to do? They can't make you not eat cookies anymore. Or if you lie and say, no, I ain't eat no cookies, why are you sitting there eating the cookies? What are they going to do? The only person who can truly hold you accountable is you and, of course, God. But here on this earth, the only one, hey, Trish, how are you? The only person who can hold you accountable is you. So to me, rather than an accountability partner, it's nice to have a battle buddy, somebody who's in the trenches with you, somebody who you can admit to when you've done something that you're not supposed to do, when you've fallen off, somebody you can vent to. But I want us to focus on holding ourselves accountable, because another thing is too, when we're looking for somebody else to hold us accountable, first of all, they have to know every single thing about us. And they don't. They only know what we tell them and what they see. We're the people who know everything about us. We know our thoughts. We know how we're feeling. We know our energy level. And we need to learn how to be 100% honest with that person in the mirror and hold ourselves accountable. And what I will tell you for sure is holding yourself accountable is going to affect you way more than anybody else holding you accountable. When you have to look yourself in the mirror and say, I messed up, I did this to myself, I got myself in this situation, I'm the reason where I don't want to be, I'm telling you, that hits different than anybody else saying it. And so with that accountability, you have to have courage, because it doesn't always feel good. It's so difficult for us sometimes to be honest with ourselves and realize that we're the problem. But as difficult as it can be, it's also liberating, and it puts us back in the driver's seat. Waiting for somebody else to hold us accountable is almost like giving somebody else control, because if they don't say nothing about what we're doing, then I guess we okay, or do we really have to do it? So you want to hold yourself accountable. And while you're holding yourself accountable, you want to have that courage to be able to correct yourself. You want to have that courage to be able to, every once in a while, maybe take a calculated risk. You want to have that courage to maybe sometimes push yourself a little bit further and realize where you may have been slacking in the past. Again, whether it's in business or it's in personal, something personal, hold yourself accountable to see why maybe when I've gone down this road before, why didn't I succeed? What was it that I didn't do? Or what was it that I did too much of to keep me from reaching that goal in the past? Because of most of us, especially when we're at the bigger ages like myself, a little over half 100, we've been down some of these roads several times. And again, whether or not it's personal, relational, business-wise, whether it's with our mental health, our physical health, our weight, whatever it is, most of the time, we've been down this road before. And for whatever reason, we didn't have the success Hey, Pam, thank you so much for watching. We didn't have the success that we desire. And so we need to hold ourselves accountable and be real honest with ourselves and figure out why we didn't get there and what mistakes we made. And then be courageous enough to promise ourselves that we won't make those same mistakes again. And so that accountability piece is huge for me. I love whenever I have any kind of turmoil in my life, any kind of difficulty in my life, and I can figure out that I'm the problem. And for those of you who've been with me a long time, you've heard me say this a million times. I love it because then I know I'm in control of making the change. Because as long as you can blame someone else or you wait for somebody else to call you out, then you don't really have control over making the change. Let me get into these comments. Don't be scared to move up. You will pass people and don't feel bad. It's your time. Yeah, that's the thing. When it's your time and you're catapulting to the next level, because first of all, everybody's not supposed to go where God is taking you. I want y'all to know that, because sometimes we holding on to people so much and holding on to situations and circumstances, and we don't let go so we can be catapulted forward. And we're trying to bring people who were never supposed to go where we're going in the beginning. So thank you for that. Hey, Tori, thank you so much. Yes, a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And we have very few lifetime people. Everybody just saying hello to everybody. I want to make sure that I'm not missing any comments. If I did miss your comment, please excuse me. And if you want to type it again, go ahead and do that. But I think I'm caught up. It looks like everybody is just speaking to everybody. I'm sore trying to stay active, just started lifting weights. I need to do that too. And that's something I really need to hold myself accountable for, is my health and fitness. It's crazy. And I have all the excuses in the world of why I don't do it. But y'all see, everything is I can't blame it even on my business, because I teach this stuff. I know how to time block and do it. So evidently I'm not ready. And one thing I tell people, when you have goals that are personal, if it's physical fitness goals, mental health goals, relationship goals, or whatever, the reason why you're not achieving those goals is because you don't want to and you're not ready. And the only person holding you back is you. You can make 1,000,001 excuses, but you're not going to be sick and tired until you really get sick and tired when it comes to certain things. If you're still in that toxic relationship and you still complaining about that man, that woman, that child, that family member, and you still dealing with them every day, then evidently that's what you want to do. You just want to complain and be there. If you're still talking about whatever it is and you know the steps that you need to take and you haven't taken them, then that's on you. But again, it's that accountability piece and looking at the person in the mirror. And so what I want y'all to type in the chat, we talking about accountability and courage. Say, it's me. It's me. You're the only person who's holding you back. I need y'all to put that in the chat. It's me. And that's a great place to be. Don't be afraid to blame yourself. Don't be afraid to hold yourself accountable. Don't be afraid to say you're the reason why you have not achieved your goals. Just have the courage now to move forward and do it differently. Hold yourself accountable. I already say I'm not getting no it's me's in the chat. Now, y'all got to be willing to talk bad to yourself every once in a while. Slap yourself on the hand. It's me. You're the one who's holding yourself back. Okay, I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing it, y'all. Because it's me too. When I'm talking to y'all, I'm talking to me. I just got done telling y'all, I don't know why I'm still sitting here looking the same way I've been looking, as much as I keep saying that I need to get on my health and wellness journey. Janet said, it's me. I know it's me. Hey, Janet, thank you for being here, boo. Wallace Hush. Y'all see Wallace. See, that's what I mean. Y'all be encouraging his bad behaviors. He gonna say it's you and he talking to me. So the next thing that we want to talk about is surrounding ourselves with like-minded people who will support us. Having relationships and people who pour into us just as much as we pour into them. So we talked earlier about how we want to move in silence. We don't want to share with everybody. But again, none of us is an island. At some point, we're all going to need help. We're all going to need support. But you want to seek guidance from like-minded people. My first step would be to seek mentors and coaches. And again, that's with anything. Don't think it's only with business. If you are trying to progress in your marriage, Find a couple who you would like to emulate how their relationship is, a strong couple that's been together for a while that you admire. If you are into the health and wellness and fitness, then find a coach, find a mentor who has been down that road, somebody who has gone through that same type of journey. If it's in business, find mentors and coaches who are professional business people, and they don't have to be doing the same business that you do, because the basis and foundation of business is pretty much the same no matter what you want to do. So find somebody who is just successful in business. My mentor, or one of my main mentors in business, owns a packing company that makes boxes and things like that's nothing like what I do. But I realize his success. I realize his business drive. I realize his intelligence. So he has taught me a lot, even though our business are not even remotely the same. Invest in a coach for yourself. That's one of the first things that you should do as your investment. I had a coach long before anyone knew that iSalt was a thing. I had a coach long before I had a contract with the city, long before I started working with Girls Inc., long before I started doing all the speaking that I'm doing. I had a coach to prepare me for that information. If you don't want to use me, can't use me as a coach, find a coach. I had an awesome coach, Coach Pam. And I was with Coach Pam long before I had the success that I have now, because again, you want to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Having a coach can help you eliminate so many mishaps on your journey, because these are people who are professional, who know the ropes and can show you things. Because what I want y'all to do is work smarter, not harder. I don't want y'all to make silly mistakes that anyone would make if they didn't have a coach, if they didn't have a mentor. Get yourself prepared. And again, on whatever journey it is, you want to seek that guidance. And then when it comes to your social life and your friends and family, spend most of your time with like-minded people. Spend your time with people who understand goal setting. Spend your time with people who understand and can respect your focus and your dedication. Don't invest a lot of your time with people who are going to try to derail you or distract you, who don't understand what you're trying to do. I'm not telling you just to X those people out of your life and not to deal with them at all, but you're going to have to set boundaries. Y'all know I talk about boundaries all the time. You're going to have to set boundaries. You're going to have to let them know, look, I'm not going to be able to be there every time you call. I'm not going to be able to answer every phone. Your text might not get answered till tomorrow because I have things that I'm trying to do that are really important for me. You're going to have to set those boundaries, and you're going to have to enforce them, because you teach people how to treat you. And it might be a little rough going. People might not always understand, but you have to make that decision for yourself, what is most important. And if people truly love you and value the relationship with you, then even if it's a little rough in the beginning, they're eventually going to understand, because ultimately they're going to want you to be able to do what makes you happy, what makes you whole, and what is going to help you to get the success that you desire. And so as you're building that supportive network, you also want to foster that network. It's about pouring into each other. And so you always want to be able to offer your help and assistance in any way you can. So as you have that mentor, as you have that coach, see what it is that you may be able to do for them to offer assistance, because I truly believe that it is a blessing to be a blessing. And so even though you may just be getting started, whatever, there is something that you can offer them, even if it's just a word of encouragement. The other thing that we're going to talk about once we're surrounding ourselves and we're building a support system is not allowing ourselves to become overwhelmed by overcommitting ourselves. So as much as in the beginning, you are going to be offering your assistance, you're going to want to start getting acclimated in different groups, you're going to be changing your surroundings, building your new circle, but don't overextend yourself so much where you can't focus on your goals. So we're building this tribe, we got a coach, we got like-minded people, we're networking, we're walking into the rooms, we're doing all the new things. but you still got to be working on your business. So don't get over committed. Don't spread yourself too thin. Again, it's about making a plan, making realistic bite-sized goals that we can achieve one at a time. So don't just get yourself all extended with your hand and all these different things, joining all these organizations and signing up for this and that. Like, yeah, I'm in there now, but what are you doing for you? And so you still have to remember that self-care piece. You still have to remember what your original goal is. And these are things that you have to be intentional about thinking about, because when you start a new journey, at first it's a little rough because it's different for you. But just as quickly as that roughness, that discomfort comes in, excitement will rush right in. All you need is to have one win and you're so excited. And then the next thing you know, you think you're working towards your goal, but you are so overcommitted, so overextended, so busy. And I talk about that a lot too. Are you busy or are you productive? Because busy does not accomplish a whole lot. Productive, that's where the accomplishments happen. That's where the victories happen. That's where the triumph happens. So while you're doing all these things, which is great, you still want to make sure that you're being productive. You still want to make sure that you're being mindful of your goal, that you're staying focused on your goal. And so we want to do that. And the way you do that is by staying consistent and persistent. Consistency and persistence go hand in hand. You have that goal and you're constantly working on it every single day. Whatever it is that you're doing, you should be working on it every single day. You should be doing something. You should have some kind of task that you're completing, because that's how it keeps stuff top of mind. I know y'all have heard the saying, out of sight, out of mind. That's what that consistency and persistence is about. If we're doing something every day, if we have some kind of task we need to do every single day, that's going to keep it top of mind so that it doesn't become out of sight, out of mind. And I know it's like you need your downtime, but you need to schedule that downtime and you need to stick to what that is. So even if you're taking a whole week off, just make sure that that week is scheduled, and that as soon as you're done, that you're jumping back on it. And again, that's in professional as well as personal goals. If you ever need to take a break, just be really clear about what that break is. And so I want y'all to stay consistent. I want you to stay persistent so that your goals don't go by the wayside because something happened and you weren't consistent. And so it hasn't become a habit. And so you have to be intentional about that consistency and embrace consistency in your actions and your habits. Have a plan for every single day. That time management is so super important, blocking your time out and knowing what you're working for. And the last thing that I want to talk about before we end is be okay with talking to yourself, which it was mentioned early on, I think, with Sarah's Happy Hives, the affirmations. Being able to talk to yourself, talking good to yourself, eliminating the negative self-talk, speaking out loud to yourself with those daily affirmations every morning, every night, all through the day, telling yourself who you are and what you deserve. I am successful. I am powerful. I am worthy. If it's a weight loss goal, then whatever weight you want to be, tell yourself that you are that weight. If it is a business goal, then tell yourself, I am a successful business owner. Tell yourself, I am beautiful. I am successful. I work in excellence. I achieve great things. People appreciate the work that I do. I am active in my community. Can y'all tell that I say this kind of stuff every single day? Say these things. It may be a fake it until you make it, but you have to say these things because, again, that's when the manifestation happens. That's when the wheels start turning. That's when the mindset starts to change. Talk to yourself like you're talking to someone you love, not someone you hate. Absolutely. Yeah, that stinking thinking, that negative self-talk, out of the window for that. And I don't care how you're feeling that day. I don't care if you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Say it anyway. I don't care if you don't believe it today. Say it anyway and look yourself in the face, look yourself in the mirror and say those things. All the things that you are going to achieve, say those to yourself. I am a CEO. I am a transformational speaker. I impact lives. I support the well-being of others. I am a strong contributor to my family and my community. I am an awesome mother. I'm a fantastic wife. Whatever it is, say those things to yourself. And I'm telling you, after a while, those things will start to resonate with you. Again, don't wait until you believe it to say it. Say it from day one. Yes, speak kind to yourself. Always kind words to yourself. You want to be able to say that. And so I need y'all to put that in the chat. Talk to yourself. And sometimes you're going to have to answer yourself. Every once in a while, those conversations might get a little deeper than just the affirmation. Sometimes you're going to have to work it out loud. So talk to yourself, speak life into yourself, encourage yourself, because there's not always going to be somebody else who can do that for you. And so that's why I say, the most important thing is that self-love. Yes, talk love to yourself. I love it. I need to see y'all put it in the chat. Talk to yourself. Or I like that. Talk love to yourself. Whatever it is, speak kind to yourself. I need y'all to be committed to that, because we don't all have someone else to do that for us. And let me tell you this, even when you do have people in your life who speak kindly to you, if you don't believe it yourself, you're not going to believe them either. And their kind words are going to be falling on deaf ears. And so that's why you have to get used to saying it to yourself, so that when other people say it to you, you believe it. And it's not being arrogant. It's not being cocky. It's just being a part of self-love. It's about nurturing yourself and loving yourself. Yes, you have to speak positively over yourself daily. And something that I do, or what I did early on when I first started with the affirmations, I used to listen to affirmations because I really wasn't familiar. And so again, on YouTube, you can find uninterrupted. And that's another thing. If you're looking for certain things on YouTube, also put in the search bar uninterrupted or no ads, especially when you're looking for like affirmations and manifestations and things like that, or daily confirmations. You can find that stuff on YouTube. Just put in daily affirmations with no ads, and you can just listen to those. And I suggest that when you're listening to affirmations, use headphones so that you're not distracted by anything, and those things are penetrating. And they have a lot where they're almost like meditations where you repeat after the person. Bob Barker is really good. There's a couple of other people, and you can actually search affirmations for new entrepreneurs, affirmations for weight loss, affirmations for business success, and just listen to those things in the headphones. And those will get you, at least give you some ideas of the things you want to say. It'll make you feel a little more comfortable because you're not just talking to yourself. There's a voice saying those things. But I don't really do that anymore because I have my own affirmations and I'm super comfortable with talking to myself. But what I do still do sometimes is listen to the affirmations as I go to sleep at night. And you can find affirmations that will play for like 8 hours uninterrupted. You put it really low on your TV. There's often maybe ocean sounds in the background, or light music, or rainstorm, and the affirmations just kind of put you to sleep. But your mind is still aware a lot of times when you're sleeping, and the things that are happening and being said can still penetrate your mind, because we're in different levels of sleep during the night, where sometimes our brain is more alert and aware than others. And so why not be feeding your brain with that positivity? It helps you to have a more relaxing and peaceful night's sleep. It helps you not to have those stressful and nightmare type of dreams. So it's just something to think about. And again, you can find them where, it can really be specific to whatever it is that you're needing. So if it's affirmations for healthier relationships, I guarantee y'all, you can find a little bit of everything on YouTube University for that type of thing, because what we want to talk about, or what we want to do is really drill down on the positive mindset and being able to manifest these things so that we can reach our goals. So I appreciate y'all so much for hanging in here with me. I went about 6 minutes over. I guess there were some people who was like, yeah, she was supposed to be done at 8:30. I'm checking out. So I got to see what else is going on. They probably on there watching somebody else do something and I'm missing it. Let me see, because I had a couple of notifications. Oh, Tampa's Creek is live. I see. Oh, and Living Out Loud is live. Yeah, so a lot of our people left to do their own lives. So I appreciate y'all hanging in there with me. If anybody has any questions or would like to talk to me offline, my contact information is always in the description box below. I do one-on-one coaching as well as group coaching, but I also give 20-minute Tampa is live. Yeah, there's a couple of people live now. I do 20-minute complimentary sessions where we can just talk about feel you need coaching with to find out if I'll be a good fit. You can find all of that information in the description box on my website at stayhall.com. But I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in this evening. I hope that I said something that was impactful to make a difference for you, something that you can utilize. I hope y'all took y'all notes. We are going to start thrusting and thriving out here in these streets, achieving our Living Out Loud on live in 30 minutes. So Tampa is live now and Living Out Loud is on live in 30 minutes. So yeah, those are other people. Hey, how are you, Big Rooster? Thank you much for being here. Oh, it went out for it. Appreciate you, Deborah. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And it looks like they're trying to kick me off. We're having some storms coming in Dallas, Fort Worth. Let's see. Great conversation. I get something new every time. Oh, I'm glad, Amanda. And I'm so glad you were able to join this evening. Good stuff. Thanks for sharing it. You are so welcome. But y'all have a great rest of your evening. I appreciate each and every one of you. You know the drill. I love you all to bits and pieces. Always be kind and always love one another, but never forget to live your life. L-Y-F-E. Love yourself first explicitly. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.
Living life is gangsta. Hey, hey. 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 Love yourself first, explicitly. You owe it to yourself to move with that energy. Empower your self-esteem. Self-love is king. That's the only way to win. That's how you empower your dreams. Living life is gangsta. Hey, hey. Living life is gangsta.